because I come from a family that was persecuted by Russians. My mother was born in Siberia and barely survived. My family was imprisoned, tortured, murdered, and etc.
For this video, we thought we would journey off the beaten track, moving away from military equipment and units to look at some of the big names when it comes to Baltic defense and security. Our first attempt at this series will be a closer look at Lithuania's current Minister of National Defense, Dovilė Šakalienė. As is the case with many countries, the minister of a government ministry may be an elected politician who does not have a background in their assigned field. In the case of Minister Šakalienė, it would appear that psychology was the dominant field of interest for much of her life prior to politics. So let's take a closer look at the minister's background. Dovilė Šakalienė was appointed Lithuania's Minister of National Defense in December 2024, coming out of Lithuania's October parliamentary elections. Married and a mother to one child, Šakalienė was born in Kaunas, Lithuania in June 1978. While we don't want to get too deep into finer details and trivial background, it is interesting that Šakalienė attended Cibolo High School in Albuquerque, New Mexico for some of her secondary education, meaning that she grew up outside of Lithuania for some time. Returning to Lithuania in 1996, she would go on to attain a bachelor's degree in psychology from Vilnius University, later acquiring a master's degree in legal psychology. Šakalienė would teach at the same institution where she attained her master's degree, but then move on to work as a project manager and eventually executive director at Lithuania's Human Rights Watch Institute between 2004 and 2015. 2011 onwards, Šakalienė would delve more into the world of media and communications, creating, hosting, and producing a radio show between 2011 and 2015, and then becoming a reviewer at Delphi, Lithuania. 2016 was the year that the now minister would get into politics, experiencing her first term as a member of Lithuanian Parliament between 2016 and 2020. While she held many committee positions during this term, the most relevant positions include being a member of the National Security and Defense Committee, 2019 to 2020, and a member and deputy chair of the Group for Interparliamentary Relations with the Nordic countries, which includes Denmark, Iceland, Norway, Finland, and Sweden. This position was held between 2017 and 2020. Šakalienė was also a member of the European Affairs Committee and the Foreign Affairs Committee between 2016 and 2017. Re-elected for a second term, she would again become a member of Lithuania's National Security and Defense Committee. And now, re-elected a third term, she is the country's Minister of National Defense. The minister speaks 4 other languages: English, Russian, French, German, and in 2021 she joined 8 other Lithuanians to be placed on a list of sanctioned individuals by China in response to EU sanctions on Chinese officials over the persecution of the Uyghur minority. Seeing as we're not out to critique or evaluate job performance, that's really all we have to tell you about Lithuania's defense minister. While she's new to her current position, it's clear that she has years of experience on the country's National Security and Defense Committee. During her 4-year term as minister, Šakalienė will continue to oversee the modernization of Lithuania's armed forces, including the integration of US-made helicopters and HIMARS rocket launcher systems, as well as thousands of drones for the military units, among many, many other responsibilities. The minister also continues Lithuania's commitment to Ukraine with donations of ammunition and equipment. What do you think of our first video looking at a specific individual connected to the defense and security of the Baltics? Would you like to see the same with Latvia and Estonia? Perhaps examining each country's chief of defense as well? Do let us know what you think by leaving a comment.